Okay, so run a scenario with me for a second. Imagine you're a VC, maybe a recruiter, and you have to build the perfect startup team, a real dream team.
All right, I'm with you. Who do I get?
First, you get your capital. A self-made woman, a fashion mogul, deals in ultra-luxury goods. She's got cash, property, the works.
Okay, solid start. Finance is covered.
Second, you get discipline. A high-ranking government official, think military background, by the book, carries the authority of the state.
And third?
Third, you get, well, the disruption. Someone who totally shatters the local economy and gets everyone talking.
I mean, on paper, that's a unicorn. You have money, structure, and buzz. It should be unstoppable.
Exactly. It looks too big to fail. But what if I told you that within just 10 years, that exact organization was, well, it was crumbling.
Well,
not from the outside, but from the inside. Infighting, jealousy, toxic rivalries.
that sounds depressingly familiar. Less like a hypothetical and more like a classic case study in why startups implode.
It is. But our source for this deep dive isn't a business journal or some tech CEO's biography. We are actually analyzing a sermon.
A sermon? That's a bit of a curveball.
It is, yeah. It was delivered on February 15th, 2026 at a place called Beipu Church to mark the induction of new leaders.
And why are we looking at it?
Because it treats the ancient history of a city, Philippi, as this incredible masterclass in organizational psychology. It's all about why great teams rot and what actually holds them together.
And having gone through it, I'll say, it's surprisingly practical. The speaker uses these really modern metaphors, lifeboats versus charity, jigsaw puzzles, even LED screens.
So if you've ever wondered why your star players might actually be the ones sinking the ship, this is for you. We're going to unpack the difference between pride and jealousy. And trust me, the answer is not what you think.
Let's get into it then. You mentioned this dream team was based on the founding of the church in Philippi.
That's right. The source takes us back to the 1st century, to the book of Acts. And the first thing that really jumps out is that this whole thing started with a massive pivot.
A huge one. The original plan for the Apostle Paul's second mission was to go to Asia. I mean, that was the logical move. The population centers, the trade routes, everything was there.
The source talks about this vision, the Macedonian call, which basically forced them to turn left and go to Europe instead. They land in this city, Philippi.
And Philippi wasn't just some random town. This is really important context. It was a Roman colony.
Which meant what, exactly?
It meant it was legally a piece of Rome itself. It was basically a retirement community for Roman military veterans. It had tax breaks. It was patriotic, wealthy, and very, very structured.
So they land in this high-stakes environment and start putting together that team we talked about. Let's start with the first member, Lydia.
The angel investor. The source says she was a seller of purple cloth. Now, we might just read past that, but in the 1st century, purple dye was. It was astronomical.
Why was it so special?
It was made from the mucus of sea snails.
That's a vivid image.
And it took thousands of them to dye a single robe. It was literally worth its weight in silver. So Lydia wasn't just well off. She was dealing in the equivalent of private jets. She was immense economic power.
So she's the one who funds the whole operation. Then we get the jailer.
Right. He comes in a bit later. He represents the state, the structure. An earthquake happens, the prison doors fly open, and his first instinct isn't to run or call for help.
No, he pulls out his sword to kill himself, which seems a little extreme.
It was the Roman code. If you lost your prisoners, your life was forfeit. So this tells you he's a man of intense discipline, totally committed to protocol. Paul stops him, and he converts.
So now you have the creative capital from Lydia and the disciplined administrator in the jailer.
But you skip the person in the middle, the disruptor.
The slave girl, yeah. This is where it gets really complicated.
The source describes her as a fortune teller, possessed by a spirit. And the key detail is that she was a cash cow for her owners. She was a major economic asset in the city.
And she starts following the team around shouting, "These men are servants of the Most High God."
Which, if you think about it from a marketing angle, is a pretty great endorsement.
You'd think so. Free press from a local celebrity. But Paul shuts it down. He casts the spirit out of her.
Why? Why turn that down?
It's about the source of the message, I think. But look at the result. When he heals her, do her owners thank him? No, they start a riot.
Because their income stream just vanished.
Exactly. So right away you see this tension. But zoom out. Look at that founding team. A wealthy female CEO, a formerly possessed girl, and a suicidal Roman jailer.
It's a wild mix. It's got money, diversity, structure. You think this is built to last forever.
And yet. The source fast forwards about 10 years. Paul writes the letter to the Philippians around 60 AD, and the tone is not celebratory, it's damage control.
This is what the source calls the 10-year itch, that perfect start. It didn't matter. The culture had turned toxic. Paul warns them about external threats, dogs, and evildoers.
Yeah.
But the real fire is internal. It's a classic story, isn't it? You survive the startup phase, and then you just tear each other apart. The text even names names. 2 women, Euodia and Syntyche.
Can you imagine having your workplace drama recorded in a holy book for 2,000 years? I'm begging Euodia and I'm begging Syntyche to just get along.
It's brutal. And these weren't new hires. The text says they labored side by side with the leadership, they were core members, and now their feud is threatening to bring the whole thing down.
So the big question the speaker asks is, how? How does a dream team become a nightmare? And his answer comes down to this really powerful metaphor he uses, the difference between a grand charity and being in the same boat.
This was the core of the whole argument for me. A grand charity gesture is a specific kind of help. It's, I am up here and you are down there, so I will help you.
The hero complex. I, the great and powerful manager, will swoop in and save you from your mistake.
Exactly. It looks like kindness, but it's really about arrogance. It reinforces a hierarchy. Every time I help you, I'm reminding both of us that I'm superior. It feeds my ego.
And it makes the other person feel small.
Right, so the antidote is the same boat mentality. The image is a small boat in a storm. If I start bailing water, am I doing it to be a hero? So you'll praise me.
No, you're doing it because if you don't, you drown too.
It completely changes the motivation. It's not, I help you anymore, it's, we survive together. And the source argues that organizations fall apart when leaders forget they're in the boat and start thinking they own the boat.
That connects directly to what he calls the traps of self. He lists things like alcohol, lust, power. But he has this really sharp take on greed.
The smart people in air-conditioned rooms.
Yes. He says the trap for intelligent people isn't crude theft. It's using their brains to run sophisticated scams from the comfort of an office.
That image is so powerful. These are capable, talented people, but they're locked in this cage of greed. They're using all their skills just to accumulate more for themselves.
They're polishing the brass in their own cabin while the ship is taking on water.
And that mindset leads to what I think is the most profound psychological insight in the whole text. The comparison he makes between pride and jealousy.
Okay, yeah, this part really challenged me. He asks the audience, who would you rather work with? A proud person or a jealous person?
And I think for most of us, the immediate answer is pride is worse. It's so loud, so obnoxious.
That was my thought. The proud person is the one always talking over you, but the speaker says, no, you should choose the proud person every single time.
And his logic is all about focus. Where is the emotion directed?
Exactly. The proud person is obsessed with themselves. I'm the best. I'm brilliant. They might ignore you. They might dismiss your ideas, but they aren't really thinking about you at all.
You're just scenery. They're looking in a mirror.
Right. They're an obstacle, sure, but they're not a threat. But the jealous person, oh, their focus is 100% on you.
That's the terrifying difference. The source basically describes jealousy as a form of surveillance. The jealous colleague is always watching you, not themselves, you.
They're the one who celebrates your success to your face, but then goes to your boss to point out a tiny flaw in the project.
Yes. And they disguise it as concern or wanting what's best for the team. But the real motive is to see you fail, because your success feels like their failure.
Pride ignores you, jealousy hunts you. That's a chilling thought.
And that's likely what was happening in Philippi with those 2 women. It wasn't just a disagreement, it was a cancer of jealousy that was destroying all the trust. You can't be in the same boat if you think the person next to you is trying to drill a hole under your seat.
So if that's the disease, what's the cure? How do you keep that same boat feeling for decades? And this is where the speaker turns to his own church's history.
Right, so walk the talk moment. He points out the lead pastor got there in 1991, so 35 years before this sermon. He shows old pictures from 1998 when they broke ground on the building.
And it was just farmland, just dirt.
And his point is, look, many of you in this room weren't even born yet. Building something that lasts is generational work. But then he says, they didn't just build it and stop. They pivoted to what they call digital evangelism.
The numbers he gives are, they're just insane for a local organization. He says that since mid-2022, they've produced over 6,000 podcast episodes.
6,000. And almost 1,800 YouTube videos in less than a year.
I mean, we do this for a living, and that number just It makes my head spin. That's not a hobby, that's an industrial process.
It is. But he's not bragging about view counts. He's making a point about discipline. Doing the work day in and day out, whether you feel like it or not. That's not a grand charity act. That's just rowing the boat.
It's the daily grind. It's showing up.
Exactly. And because of that, their influence isn't limited by their small-town geography, but it only works if everyone agrees to play their part.
And to really land this idea, he uses these two final metaphors that I think are the biggest takeaway from the whole thing, the statue versus the puzzle piece.
This is the framework you can take with you. He says our ego, our pride, wants to build a statue of ourselves. We want to be cast in bronze, put on a pedestal, admired.
Look at me, I'm the visionary, I'm the star.
But he asks a very practical question. What actually happens to statues? Eventually, they just become clutter. They get moved to a forgotten corner of a park, they get taken down, they're static, and ultimately, they're alone.
So the alternative isn't to be a statue, it's to be a piece of a puzzle.
Right. Think about a jigsaw puzzle. A single piece has no value on its own. Its only value is in how it connects to the other pieces.
But nobody wants to be a boring piece of blue sky, right? Yeah. Everyone wants to be the interesting part, the face, the main object.
And that's the ego trap again. He says, don't complain about your shape. If you're a weird little edge piece, that's your job. Your purpose is to hold the corner. If you try to change your shape to be more important, you don't just fail yourself, you ruin the whole picture.
He tells that little story that I think everyone knows, the 500-piece puzzle, and right at the end, you find out the dog ate the last piece.
It destroys the whole thing.
Yeah.
A 499-piece puzzle isn't 99% complete, it's broken, it's worthless. One missing piece negates all the other work.
It completely reframes what it means to be indispensable. It's not about being the star, it's about being the one piece without which the picture can't be finished.
It's a really humbling idea. The goal shifts from, how do I stand out, to how do I fit in?
And he caps it all off with this amazing modern metaphor, the Taipei 101 building.
Yeah, this really updates the puzzle analogy. He talks about seeing the words, Go Taiwan, lit up on the side of this massive skyscraper. How do they do that? It's a grid of thousands of tiny LED lights.
Millions, probably.
Right, and if you hold one of those little LED bulbs in your hand, what is it? It's nothing. A tiny weak point of light. It has no glory. It doesn't mean anything on its own.
One single LED is totally invisible from the ground.
Exactly. But when it turns on at the perfect millisecond, in perfect sync with all the others, it becomes part of a message an entire city can read. His final point is that our job is just to be a faithful pixel.
That's it. That brings it all together. Lydia, the jailer, Euodia, Sintai Shay, they were all just pixels. The moment they started trying to be the whole picture, the moment pride and jealousy took over, the message died. The screen went dark.
You give up your own glory, your individual fame, but you become part of something so much bigger. That's what a real legacy is.
It just completely goes against our modern idea of success, doesn't it? We started this talking about a dream team, money, power, influence. We think success is about accumulation.
But this text argues that real, lasting success is about integration. It's about unity. It's about choosing to believe that the message on the building is more important than the brightness of your own little bulb.
It's a pretty powerful case for humility, not just as a virtue, but as a core strategy.
You can't build anything without it. Not anything that lasts, anyway.
So here's the final thought I want to leave you with. We talked about that 499-piece puzzle, the tragedy of that one missing piece.
The one the dog ate.
Right. So look at your own puzzle. Your team at work, your family, your community. We always ask ourselves, do I fit in? But maybe the better, harder question is this. Are you the piece that's complaining about its shape? Are you trying to carve yourself into a statue?
Or are you just willing to be the edge piece that holds your corner of the picture together?
Because if you refuse to fit, you're not just an outlier. You might be the reason the whole picture can never be complete.
That is definitely something to think about before your next team meeting.
For sure. Be a pixel, not a statue. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll see you on the next one.